Okay, Corona Catch Up 11. Beautiful day. I slept like, well, not a baby last night. Forgot to sleep like a baby. Said I was gonna, didn't do it. Stayed up all night watching videos of dogs and cats and animals that are like literally in the worst situations, like chained to a post in a burning building. And everything's collapsing around them, and then someone saves them, and they're like so thin and sick, and they're like, is it gonna make it? Is it not gonna make it? And they're like, I don't know. Spoiler alert, it does make it, and they coax it back to health, and then you see it like, oh, it's taking its first steps. Oh my god, good boy, good girl, you're doing it. And then it's like, oh, it's going outside now. Look, it's wagging its tail finally. You see the step by step process of this animal coming back to life. Uh, Great stuff. Really uplifting stuff. Keeps you up at night. You think it would be like, okay, now I can sleep again, but it's more like, I want to see another one. I want to see the cat version. And the cat version is like this cat abandoned at the side of the road, looks feral and it's all matted, and it's like when anyone comes close, but they trick it into the carrier, get the carrier in the car, and then they're like, all right, slowly but surely, we're going to coax this cat out of here with some food. We're going to try and pet it. Oh, it's not going to let us pet it. Eventually it does. And then eventually the cat, it lets you pet it without the food, and then it just starts to nuzzle up to you, and you're like, holy cow, this cat is filled with love. It's an exciting thing. Now we have a fun cat in our hands. Went from zero to hero. These animal stories where they go from zero to hero, emotional, inspirational. You gotta watch. Friends, the TV show, is it racist? Is it not racist? This comes up, I think people are talking about it in retrospect, being like, all six of the main characters are white. It's not very inclusive, no representation. It takes place in New York City. It's a super diverse place. Why are they all white? Fair point. This article is about Lisa Kudrow being asked about it, which I don't think is fair. She just got cast in the role. She didn't write him. She didn't cast the other people. Whatever. I think it's a tough spot because the show, Friends, was so popular, I think, because of the characters. Because of who they cast. They did a great job casting these characters. They worked well together. They played their roles perfectly. So if you cast it with different people, is it the same show? I don't know. It's an interesting thought experiment. I think definitely shows nowadays are much more conscious of being inclusive and having a diverse cast, which is awesome. But to go back in retrospect and criticize something from the 90s for being not as progressive as today seems like a waste of time. It sounds like a losing battle to be like, hey, that thing you made in the 90s, doesn't really look great today, does it? Like, yeah, we could do that all day with a lot of different things. Something that does hold up, however, Britney Spears' song, Oops, I Did It Again, turns 20 years old. Seems too old for that song to be. It's not. It's the truth. Britney Spears, for me, I think people my age, straight men my age, a lot of them had their sexual awakening through Britney Spears because she was so popular. Not me. She was always intimidating for me. She was too sexual for me. I couldn't get into it. I was a little, like, I would have been 9 when this song came out? When this song comes out, I'm 9 years old. It's too much for me to handle. It's just too much. And sometimes when the song comes on, songs don't come on anymore. You have to put them on. No one listens to the radio. Duh. If I hear this song now, it's like, it kind of like shoots me back to that, being like a scared little boy who doesn't understand sex. Anyway, too much TMI, maybe a TMI alert, whatevs. I did it, it's fine. Good for her. That song, I love that song just because that title is like one of the best titles of all time. What? What'd she do? Oops. The fact that oops is in a title is pretty hilarious. Oops? This is oops? What are you oopsing? Number 3, I love this. I love everything true crime, murder mystery related. I absorb every single true crime doc I can. I'm a freak for it. Except the trials of Gabriel Fernandez. That Netflix one, too hard to handle. Within like 5 minutes, they're talking about finding a bullet in a child's penis. And you're like, all right, that was too much. I found my limit. Child's penis bullet, found it. That was the limit. Did not go back to that one. This guy, French serial killer expert, he claims that his wife was murdered by a serial killer in the 70s, and that sparked his interest, and he made it his career, his life's work, to study serial killers. No, not true. His wife didn't even exist, not a real person. Totally made it up. And this whole Batman-esque origin story that he concocted for himself was all to seem sympathetic and be a sympathetic figure, so people would buy his books, people would want to work with him, etc. The idea of getting caught in a lie that big really makes my skin crawl. I think that's why I like this stuff, is because I get to experience the weird feelings at a distance. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. See you tomorrow.